It's been a while. It's been a very long time, 2 months to be exact. Well, a little over 2 months. But nonetheless, we are finally back with more draft content. This time, there won't be a long wait like the last time when I posted my first video and I said after I finished editing the draft class and we hold a draft, that the draft class would be available. And then a month later, I gave an update. The class still wasn't finished. We still hadn't done our draft yet. And people just began to grow more and more and more impatient. So that's part of the reason why it took so long to finally drop one of these videos updating everybody on my year 2 draft class. Because I didn't want to do the same thing I did with year 1 and post a bunch of hype videos, I guess you could say, getting people anticipated for it, but never actually letting them know, like, hey, this class is available right here or tomorrow or this and that. This won't be that same situation. This is the first video, and this is going to be the only video before the draft class drops. The next video will be when the draft class drops, and the wait will not be as long as it was the last time for the first class. So with that being said, let me let you know that this class currently is about 90% done. Every position up to about cornerbacks is complete. I just have to finish cornerbacks, then I have to finish free safeties, strong safeties, kickers, punters, and long snappers. The hardest one being cornerbacks. Safeties will be easy. Kickers, punters, that doesn't take any time. So this draft class is going to be available February 12th, Thursday, February 12th. I'm giving that date because that's the latest possible day that this class can be available. It may very well be available 2 days early, but I'm saying the 12th just to be on the safe side, so nobody is getting their hopes up and they're waiting and constantly commenting saying, hey, when is the class going to drop? When is the class going to drop? Drop the class, drop the class. What's the wait? No. February 12th, Thursday, next week, as of the time of this video, this draft class will be available. So a couple things to get out the way real quick before I go into the draft class to give you an idea of some of the players to look for. I have to reiterate, just like I did in my last draft class and just like I did for last year, because not everybody sees every video that I make. Not everybody sees every short. So more and more people or new people that haven't seen my content get all up in arms about the class not being exactly as it should be to real life. I got bashed for it for the first class. I got negative reviews on Xbox. Even though I have over 3,000 downloads, it's like 3-star rating right now because people don't see. First of all, I hate how EA took away the option to be able to give a description when you upload the draft class. Otherwise, people would know exactly what they're about to download. But in the event that people don't see that, in the event that people haven't seen any of my other videos, I must reiterate. So for all of those who have seen my content, I apologize for repeating myself, but I have to do this again because every day I get new viewers to my channel, to my videos that might come across my content for the first time. So ignore this. If you want to jump ahead, you can. But for the new people seeing this for the first time, my draft classes aren't draft classes identical to real life. My draft classes are simply exports from my dynasty in college football and imports into Madden 26. So my first draft class was the players that were leaving for the draft in the first year of my dynasty in college football 26. This is going to be the players leaving in the second class. So you're going to see a lot of players on here that in real life would be in the draft right now. And people would say should have been in my first class. But this isn't identical to real life. If that's the kind of class you are looking for, again, do not download my draft classes because these aren't realistic to real life. These are a mirror image of the draft classes leaving in my college football 26 dynasty and being imported into Madden 26 via me creating them. There's going to be players like Colin Simmons in here. There's going to be your Fernando Mendoza's in here that probably should have been in the first class if this were a realistic draft class according to real life. But this isn't. This is simply an export and an import. So you're gonna see a lot of things like player positioning and ranking being way off. So Fernando Mendoza in this class, for example, is not the top rated quarterback, because according to where he was positioned at the start of my dynasty when College Football 26 came out, he wasn't as high as he is currently in real life. So what I did to supersede that, or what I did to kind of like manage that, is even though he's like the 7th or 8th best quarterback in this draft, which is overall isn't poor. I will say that he's still in the 70s, but since he's so lowly rated, I gave him an X Factor ability. So normally I don't announce when I give abilities and stuff out like that, but I will say Fernando Mendoza does have an X Factor ability. So that's kind of what I did for certain players who in real life would be higher in ranking and positioning, but aren't because of the way they were positioned when they were leaving in my dynasty. I gave them a little superstar trait, or I gave them a big time trait going into this draft class. So also another thing, because of all of this being from my dynasty and everything like that, you're going to see a lot of players whose schools aren't necessarily the schools they actually went to. Why? Because in my dynasty, you know, after the first year, it's haywire with that transfer portal. So you're going to see a lot of players that you're going to be like, oh, this draft class isn't accurate. This draft class isn't right. He doesn't actually play for this team. He plays for this team. Calm down. Again, if you're looking for a realistic draft class identical to real life, do not download my draft classes, because that is not what you're going to get. You're going to get an export from my college football dynasty and import into my Madden 26 franchise. So yes, after year one, a ton of players, and I mean a ton of players, are going to be at different schools. For instance, Colin Simmons, star edge rusher from Texas. At the time he's coming out in this draft class, he's coming out. He transferred and went to Ohio State. You're going to see stuff like that. So before you get all up in arms, and yes, I'm going to chop these videos up into shorts and post them. So some of this stuff is probably going to be left out. And people are probably more than likely going to see those videos before they see this full length video. And they're not going to understand it. They're going to say, oh, this isn't accurate. This is way off. This draft class is trash, because they're not going to understand. But for those watching this, you'll understand, because again, I've repeated several times already. I've wasted about 9 minutes, all going on 10 minutes of time explaining my draft class process. But I have to continue to do this, because every time I turn around, no matter how many times I make this video and make this statement, somebody is in the comments, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Instagram, whether it be TikTok, talking about how this is a trash draft class because it's not accurate. And then whenever that happens, I have to clip parts like this and put them on short, or put them in shorts and put them on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that, just to show people how inaccurate and wrong they are for making statements like that. If you'd have did your research or look further into it, you would know. But I'm working hard on making sure I not only speak it on these videos, but put it in descriptions. So without further ado, I've gave you all the details on when you should expect this draft class and what's completed and everything like that. Only thing left for me to do now is to show you kind of some of the players that you can expect in this draft class. So some of the players you can expect in this draft class at the quarterback position, you can expect Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, Iamaliava, Fernando Mendoza. As far as receivers are concerned, you can expect Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Eugene Wilson III, Ryan Wingo. Tight ends, you can expect Kenyon Sadiq, Lawson Lucky. On the defensive side, you can expect Keldrick Falk. You can expect Colin Simmons. You can expect Dylan Stewart. At the mic, you can expect CJ Allen. You can expect Whit Weeks at the wheel, Harold Perkins, so on and so forth. And at the cornerback position, you can expect, which again, I'm at cornerbacks right now, I have to finish. You can expect Leo Moore, which some players, that's another thing I wanted to point out. Some players in this class, their names, they won't have their full names. So Leo Moore, his name is, I forget what his full name is, but for some reason, some of these names, which aren't even profane names, of course, as always, typical EA, they won't let you put the full name out. So it's either me not put the player in the game or cut the name short. So I put Leo Moore from Notre Dame, and they have other players like that, like Leo Moore, where I couldn't finish the full name, so I had to use a portion of the name just to make sure I got the player in the game. but you'll see that once you go through the draft class. But as far as cornerbacks, you got Leo Moore, you got AJ Harris, you got DJ McKinney, Jeremiah Wilson, Eli Bowen, and I think that's it. No, Markel Craig and Martell Height. After that, I have to go ahead and finish up cornerbacks. Again, finish up safeties, kickers, punters, long snappers, and then the class is done. But that's going to do it for this class. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you can expect this class to be available by next Thursday, February 12th. I'm not giving a specific time because I don't know exactly when I'm going to post a video or post a class and then post a video letting everybody know that it's available. But it will be available by February 12th to download. Year 2 draft class. It's going to be named different too. It's going to be named different. Typically I name my draft classes Rio West Gaming Class 1 or Rio West Class 1, so on and so forth. But again, I decided to change the name. So this class isn't going to be similar to my first class name. It's going to be a different name. So since you can't put a description on Madden itself explaining what the draft class is, I'm going to put it in the name so people know what they're getting themselves into. So be on the lookout. February 12th, next Thursday, at the time of this video, this draft class will be available. Also, be on the lookout for more of my Dynasty and franchise content. I've been on a long hiatus as the end of 2025 was extremely busy and hectic for me. I couldn't maintain doing all of my content, so I prioritized doing updates and anything of that nature for college football and for Madden 26. So I put my Dynasty and franchise on hold, but it will be back and back with a vengeance. Stay tuned because my draft class content is back. My franchise and Dynasty content is coming back. And also my wish list for college football 27 and Madden 27 is right around the corner as well. So we got a lot of content coming soon too. And I'm not done with tutorials. It's been a while since I posted tutorials, but I have seen the comments. I have seen people looking and requesting for more tutorials. They are coming soon as well. So stay tuned. Be on the lookout. We got tons of content coming. We'll be back with a vengeance. But in the meantime, as always, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more Madden 26 content, as well as college football 26 content and future content pertaining to college football 27 and Madden 27. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time. Peace.